Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, it's Jeff McNichol down here at Mom's Music, 1900 Melwood Avenue. I was just thinking, when I was a kid, the magic was at Frankfort Avenue. Mom's Music at Frankfort Avenue, and I used to beg people to get a ride down there just to hang out with the guys and see all the cool gear. Now that I'm the owner of this store, it's like a dream come true. We're recreating the magic with the vibe that we used to have at the old store. We're carrying all the gear that you're going to possibly want. We're giving you the outstanding service and personal attention that you deserve. Yeah, so we've got the great guitar shop here. We're carrying USA Fender, USA Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, Gretsch, Jackson, Charvel, anything you could possibly want, we're going to have it for you. Mom's is, and always will be, Louisville's music store.
Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I am Mark Jackson and I am your host. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Awesome interviews and awesome music. If you want to contact me, hit me up at metalforgeradio@gmail.com or visit the website metalforgeradio.com. And now, let's get this show on the road. What is going on, metalheads, hashers, defenders of the faith? Today is our lesson in the ultraviolence. No, not really. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. This week, I have the band Midnite Hellion. You've seen them on tour with Anvil the last couple of months. Holy shit, what a long tour it was. But before we talk to those guys, we have Jason coming back this week from the Heavy Metal Wasteland to talk about MEGADETH. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a show review here really fast for you. Wednesday night, Athena and I, Metal Mischief Athena, went to Exodus, Death Angel, and a band from E-Town, Kentucky called Sinistrum. Sinistrum's first show, they blew it the fuck away. Be looking for those guys to come on here pretty soon, because they kick ass. And like Exodus and Death Angel, holy shit, they have only gotten better every single time I have seen them. It's like, I don't know what it is, because like, it's the indoctrination deal that's like they're who they are. And it's like every time I see them, it's like something completely different. It blows me away. I can't explain it, but super rad stuff. So if you've been following the Bay Strikes Back tour, it's been going on for quite some time. There was a little bit of time off in the summer, but now they're starting to do some one-off shows on the tour as well before going to Europe for the remainder of the year. And this was really cool because headliners in Louisville, it's a small, intimate place. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. Every town, I think, has one. Any city that has like a mid-sized place that, holds about 500-600 people or whatever. Everybody's got that small, intimate place where there's no barricade and it just completely kicks ass. But I'm going to run down this set list for the Exodus set. And it was completely insane because, like, obviously they're still touring Persona Non Grata, but, they also play a lot of stuff from Bonded by Blood and everything like that. But, like, this show was a little bit different because they played, something from Impact is Imminent, something from Exhibit A, the Atrocity Exhibition. That's pretty cool to get, like, the weird, like, one-off songs because it's not like an actual... They don't have to fit a time frame, when they're opening up for Testament or whatever. But obviously they start the show with The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves. Super cool. A Lesson in Violence, Blood In, Blood Out. Then they jump to Iconoclasm, which is, wow, that's like an off the beaten, they don't play that a lot. The Years of Death and Dying, Death Amphetamine, Blacklist, I absolutely love seeing live. It's like the whole crowd gets into that song, and it's so fun to watch and to sing along to. Piranha, Only Death Decides, Prescribing Horror. To me, that is like a standout track on Persona. I love that. I love that song, and it's just got this cool groove that it's so rad. So seriously, check that one out. Obviously, Bonded by Blood, The Toxic Waltz, and Strike of the Beast. So 13 songs, and usually they're sets between 10 and 11 songs on this tour. So we got a couple of cool ones like Iconoclasm and Only Death Decides. So those are some extra songs that got thrown out there, which was awesome. But yeah, if you get a chance to see them when they're headlining a show, it's so much better than, the set feels like it's a better set, honestly. It seems like they're having more fun and I guess that's with anybody, though. But anyways, I'm yakking away here. Let's check in with Jason and see what he has to say about some Megadeth, because, they released a new album here recently, and I haven't got it yet. Haven't even listened to it. But I'm a completionist, so I'm going to end up buying it. But because of, things that are going on, I'm probably going to buy it on a secondhand market. So, I'm sorry. That's just how I am. So, let's check in with Jason.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wasteland. Hope you all have been well, and I hope that cooler weather has found you like it has me here in the mountains of North Carolina. It's very nice to know when I wake up in the mornings that I am not waking up to sweat profusely all day, and I can actually enjoy riding with the windows down and enjoying the nice fresh air rather than AC all the time, so that's nice. But enough about the weather and my personal preferences. I'm here to talk about the new Megadeth album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I was actually surprised that this is album number 16. Most of the time when I think Megadeth, it's the first three, the lineup involving Marty Friedman and Nick Menza, which, you know, thinking back, that's like, in that era is like 30 years old or near it. It's pretty hard to believe. But also there's a couple albums in the early 2010s. Then obviously the comeback album, Dystopia, and now the new one, Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, which has grown on me quite a bit since I got it last week. So I have a couple complaints about it, but I will start with the positives first. The riffs, the solos, the drumming, the bass, the tones, the production is all stellar stuff. It's like a masterclass in thrash riffing. Obviously, we know that the drama that involved David Ellison being kicked out of the band for some hands-on activities that was later came out to be between two consenting adults. So maybe kicking him out of the band over it was a little harsh, but again, nobody except for who is in the band is on the inside with these things, so I don't want to judge too hard about the situation, so I really don't know what the inner turmoil was. But enough about that. Steve DiGiorgio, who plays in Testament and Death, and the new Death tribute act going around, is the bass player for this album, and it's a masterful job, like everything else he does. So really the good is, you know, it kicks ass. Now, there is some chinks in the armor, for me anyway. First off, there's too many songs on the album. It's like 52 minutes long. It's really long. There's a few songs that could have been cut. There was a couple tracks at the end that are cover songs. There's a Dead Kennedys song and a Sammy Hagar song. I'm not really a big Dead Kennedys fan, so this one didn't really do much for me. And there's a couple of other ones. One called Mission to Mars that's like super cheesy and corny. I thought it really didn't fit with the vibe of the album. And another one called Junkie, which I really didn't care for. But all the rest is pretty stellar stuff. So another complaint I have is some of the lyric choices Dave Mustaine makes in this album. Not all of it's bad. There's some really good vocal melodies that I enjoyed. For the most part, the lyrics are pretty cool. I enjoy snarky Dave Mustaine more than I do singing Dave Mustaine in a way. So that's my preference on his singing styles. But man, like the lyrics that I really didn't like, or just the vocal or the lyric choices that he tried to sing, and some of them I really questioned on some songs. For instance, the title track, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, there's some weird filler stuff he throws in that really doesn't fit. The next song, Life in Hell, he tries to cram in a phrase that has too many syllables for the line he's singing it on. Ice-T randomly shows up in one track and just kind of raps, which, like, when you think Megadeth, you don't really think rap, but that one kind of works for me after a while. But like when I first heard it, it was like, it really like, what is this? You know. But there's a couple other ones. I just, didn't do much for me. Could have been cut to save on time and been more all killer, no filler. But for the most part, this album is pretty damn solid. I mean, even the complaints I have, the songs are still kick-ass, except for the Mission to Mars one. Well, the last half of Mission to Mars is pretty good, but trying to get through it to the last half is a little agonizing. But songs like the title track is a really good song, except for some of the lyric choices. Life in Hell is a ripper. The next song with Ice-T on it, Night Stalkers, it's pretty badass. Kick-ass bass interlude in there, by the way. It really shows the full tone of the bass in that one part, which is some of the nastiest bass tone I've heard in quite a while. Dogs of Chernobyl. That's a pretty good mid-tempo heavy tune. And some other ones. I think there's a really new wave of British heavy metal inspired song called Celebrity That's pretty good. I like a lot. Stuff like that. And of course the closing track, which was the first single, We'll Be Back, is I think it's their answer to the Spit Out the Bone track that Metallica put out on the last album. So if you're into Megadeth, I would highly recommend this album if you haven't listened to it already. I would say you have if you're a Megadeth fan, or even if you're a casual fan, or just curious about what riffs they've got on the album. If you're not a Megadeth fan, or his points of views or politics drives you crazy, I would say probably stay away from this one, because it's probably more of the same. There's a trilogy of videos that's supposed to tie in together, even though I have no idea what the tie-ins are. So they're up on YouTube. And that's all I got for this one. Always want to thank Mark for giving me a few minutes of his time, and of course you guys for your time. Hopefully you're not fast forwarding through all this, but if you are, I understand. And as always, stay safe, stay heavy, and we will talk to you next time.
Yeah, Jason, I think you hit it right on the head there about staying away if you're not into Dave's political stuff. Yeah, that's totally me in this juncture. I am definitely not oh gosh, I just can't do it right now. It's so toxic at this point. So we're going to do this. Since of the toxicity of all that, we're going to just rip it up. And that's what we're going to play from Midnite Hellion from the Condemned to Hell album, going back to the beginning. This is Rip It Up. All right, metalheads, this week is awesome because back at the beginning of June, I had the pleasure of playing a show with these three cats, and they recently got off a damn near 2-month-long tour with Anvil this past summer. I've got all three members of Midnite Hellion here. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Drew Rizzo, the drummer. I'm Rich, bass and vocals. I'm Charles Kegler. I'm the lead guitarist.
Dudes, what's going on?
Well, we just finished rock and rolling a rehearsal. We never really take time off because time is of the essence, you know? So we just finished this 2-month long tour with Anvil. It was great time, man. Saw the entire country, coast to coast. We started up in Maine and in Chicago, went to all points, north, south, east, and west. And right now we're prepping up for our next adventures coming soon.
Hell yeah.
I did the math on it. We drove through, I think it was 34 states, played 27 of them.
Good Lord, that's insane. That's like all what it was about back in the day. You know, you would get these 60-day tours and shit like that. And then think of like all the people that did 60 days and then were home for like a week and then they went back out on the road.
Exactly. That's exactly what Anvil did. They went home for a week and did a Canadian run, and then they go home for another week, and then they go to Europe for 2 months.
See, that is insane. And, you know, they've been doing it for so long, it's like second nature to those guys.
Exactly. And we're very fortunate that they were able to introduce us into their world like that, too. Take us along for the run and to go in full speed ahead, because this is our first time we've ever done touring of this nature to that extent. We've done some touring in the past, but not anything like this.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, you guys actually had played with Anvil before this, back a few years ago.
Actually, yes.
Should I tell the story?
Yes. Let's let Rich tell the story, because it was most monumental for him.
Yeah. So back in 2016, we played with Anvil at a local show. We were one of the openers. I had come in to play bass originally and had to step in on vocals. That was my first show on vocals too.
Oh wow!
So it was a little monumental for me, because I'm sitting here. Oh geez, oh geez, oh geez. Oh hey Anvil. Oh geez, oh geez. So that's going to be a night to remember for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, full circle, here we are. We were on tour with them, and there you go.
Well, clearly you made an impression.
Apparently.
You know, to sit there and say, you know, well, 6 years later, I let me see if I can channel my inner lips voice here. It's like, well, you know, 6 years later, we're going to take you out on the road. No, I'm...
Hey, Lips, what are you doing on this call?
Right. No. I mean, I always imagine, you know, I love Lips to death. He's a great dude. I always imagine about, you know, he sounds like Bret Hart.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, when I had him on the show back in 2020 or 2021, something like that, it was like last year, I believe. Here's me not knowing my own fucking, like, people that I've had on. When I was like, man, you know, if you just listen to him talk, he sounds like Bret in an interview. So it's like kind of, it comes full circle, because I'm a wrestling fan, I'm an Anvil fan, they're both Canadian. Hell yeah.
Well, and then, you know, Bret's brother-in-law, Jim the Anvil. I mean, that's a hell of a connection there, too.
Very much so.
And not for nothing, I mean, you could tell there's a difference between Bret Hart and Lips for one reason only. One of them wears sunglasses.
Ah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, Jim the Anvil, you know, I like to fashion my goatee like him, you know, where it's like straight down and stuff.
Nice.
So,
good old Heart Foundation, man.
What's that?
Good old Heart Foundation.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. So, tell us about Midnite Hellion.
Well, we started in 2011 officially. I formed the band, and we had went through quite a bit of touring, as well as some releases. We did a demo, an EP, and a 7-inch single. And then Q into 2016, we had linked up with Jeremy Moles on guitar, and he had been friends already with Rich Kubik, our bassist. So that was pretty much like the beginning, I would say, of when the band really came out of the demo phase and into the phase of Midnite Hellion being Midnite Hellion, when Rich stepped up on both bass and vocals. So we recorded the record Condemned to Hell in 2017, and that came out on Witch's Brew Records. And we are actually literally down to the last 86 copies of that album in the world. All of them are on vinyl. All cassettes and CDs were sold out during this past summer. So, yeah, that's pretty cool that that's actually been depleted. It's a little depressing in a way, too, because, like, you know what? We love the record, and it's going to be gone soon. But anyway, so back to current times. So once we did our touring cycle for Condemned to Hell, we had went out with OTEP for a few dates out in the Midwest and mountain regions of the U.S., did some regional dates as well. We played with Overkill, we played with Obituary, Exodus, Ingve Malmsteen, a bunch of others too. Udo we did, Diamond Head, Raven, but yeah, we did a lot of different things around the Jersey area as well as the East Coast shoreline. So for this record, Kingdom Immortal, I'm getting them mixed up now, sorry. So Kingdom Immortal, we had just actually been working with a bunch of friends on guitar for some of the touring as Jeremy had to step away. So about 2 months before we entered the studio with Alex Perialis up at Pyramid Sound in Ithaca, New York, we had linked up with our guitarist Charles Kegler. And he came in, learned everything, spot on, ready to rock and roll. 2 months later, he comes into the studio with us, and we spit out this record in 6 days. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that. Yeah, we worked vigilantly night and day, pretty much 10 a.m. till 2 a.m. almost every single day. And we actually ended with time to spare because we had allocated out 7 days. So that was that. And obviously, we know what happened in the past year or so. So we figured, we got to wait till to strike while the iron's hot. We got to wait out the time a little bit and come out when we can actually go tour effectively on the record. So we waited until January 21st of this year to release Kingdom Immortal. So we figured, we got to get some legs on this record, man, and we got to do a tour. And the Anvil tour came up, and management and the booking agent thought that we were a good fit, and here we are, man. It was incredible. We're in the middle of doing the touring for it, so this is only part 1, although we do have more ready to rock and roll for the near future for record number 3. We are still focusing very strongly on Kingdom Immortal.
For sure. So, gonna backtrack a little bit because that was a lot to assimilate all at one time. So,
like a bio and past, present, and future.
Definitely. And that's what it's all about. So, Condemned to Hell, Witch's Brew. I love the CD artwork for this because it's like an inverse style of the old Silverface CDs that you used to get. Like the Epic Records CDs where it was just like the text on the disc, and it had the red line around it, and this has like the blue line, so it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, definitely all about keeping things traditional.
What I really do want to focus on here is what it says on the disc itself, other than the name and the name of the album and the like the Brew 092, like the tag for the which release it was for the label. Because if you read the CD itself, it says all headbanging rights reserved. You are encouraged to share this Witch's Brew release with others by cranking the volume so your friends, family, pets, neighbors and neighbors can enjoy the metal too. That is fucking rad as hell. It's like seriously, that kicks ass. That's like one of those little Easter egg things that if you're not really paying attention, it's just like, oh, it's just like all rights reserved and blah 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 blah, copyright, all that shit.
Exactly. And that's the difference between a download or a stream and physical product.
Oh, absolutely. While I do.
I said you get all these treats just like on the vinyl for that record.
Hell yeah. And see, that's one of the things too, is like I am a hound for when it comes to my vinyl collection. I really got a limit because if I ever move, nobody likes to help move that stuff. So my CDs, they can fit all in about 25 boxes. So I still like to have a nice CD collection because, child of the 80s, 90s, and millennium era, that's how it is to me. So
absolutely, totally agreed, man. I still have a huge collection of everything myself too. I never stream, I never download, I only purchase.
Definitely.
And only physical medium.
Well, I will stream. I don't stream typically. I will copy my CDs to my phone so I can have it on the go, so I'm not carrying a giant CD book with me.
Yeah, and that's why I got an iPod too, especially to preserve the CDs because the car CD players sometimes scratch them.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not forking out about $1,500 for a resurfacer.
No, not worth it.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. And then so on Kingdom Immortal, and I am an artwork hound. I love looking at something in the section, I like going to the miscellaneous sections of the record store, like the miscellaneous M's and N's and all of this stuff, especially in the metal section, because there are so many bands out there that if you're going to go through, you're going to see your typical Metallica's, Motorheads, Merciful Fates, etc. in the M section. But when you get to something like you guys, so what I'm saying here is I totally would probably have purchased this sound unheard based on the artwork alone.
Thank you. That means a lot, man. Sweet.
So can you tell us about the artwork for just go through the beginning, from Condemned to Hell to Kingdom Immortal?
Well, basically, long and short is our mascot Sebastian is a werewolf, and he's been making appearances all over the world and underworld. And for Condemned to Hell, he had been taking over Karen's boat. So that was the main theme of that, with the underworld and everything going on there. For Kingdom Immortal, we found him at Mount Olympus. So he was basically immortalizing everybody that was coming up to the altar of the king, basically. So really the title name behind it, too, is kind of like, when musicians die, or anybody, but this was kind of like the basis behind the thought on it. When musicians die, the music lives forever, but where do they go? They're immortalized. And Definitely. They go to Kingdom Immortal to be immortalized, So it's kind of like a tribute, if you will, to everyone that we've grown up with that's no longer with us, in that sense, in terms of the title. Regarding the artwork itself, that was actually hooked up with Fastener and Larson, Steve Fastener and Richard Larson, who have done quite a few album covers in the 80s, especially. They're more known for comic books and the graphic novels. They did a stellar job, man. I cannot say enough about what they've done for us on that record. And we're looking forward to working with them again very soon. So keep your eyes peeled out for some more upcoming collaborations with them.
Hell yeah. It looks like Rich Larson has done something, Intruder, Psycho Savant back in the day, back in the early 90s. And
yep.
let's see what Steve Fastener's done before. He's got some Intruder, he's got Overkill. So hell yeah. Awesome stuff here. Like I said, to me, artwork makes metal albums, I think. You can have some really shitty artwork, and it could be the best album in the world, and it's just if you can't, for me personally, if I can't just look at it and be, fully immersed visually as well as, auditorily, it's kind Absolutely. Of it's like, meh. I picked up the new Ozzy album, And it's like, it's cool, don't get me wrong, because it's like, it's kind of like, I think it's Ozzy's version of Hey Stupid, you know, by Alice Cooper, where it's like, we're going to play with I'm going to have a bunch of different artists on here, and we're just all going to do goofy shit. But like, there is a version of it that comes with a poster where it's like, the artwork I am not completely sold on, but I was so tired I didn't want to get another copy that had just him on the cover like Ordinary Man did.
I gotcha. Yeah.
You know, so
like we know what Ozzy looks like. It's all okay.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So but like I said, the artwork on it, I'm not completely sold on. So at least, you know, some of the songs have a hook to them.
I've yet to hear the new record. I've heard the new single. I gotta say, man, it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
You're talking about Patient Number 9.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've listened to about half of it so far. I got up to the 4th track, which is let's face it, it's I think it's a Black Sabbath holdover track, honestly, because Tony Iommi's playing guitar on it. So
yeah, that's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good. Everything that I've listened to on it's like, man, that's really good. It's like, hey, that's really good too. Like, it's got Jeff Beck, it's got Zakk Wylde, it has Tony Iommi, has quite a few other people on there as well. So hell yeah. But enough of Ozzy talk here. Ozzy's cool, but like, this is about you guys. So
exactly. And hopefully one day, if Ozzy decides to tour again, maybe we can be an opening act.
That would be awesome. You know, I really wish he would, but I think he's going to start just doing the one-off things, especially after the debacle over the halftime show on like Thursday Night Football a couple of weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, if he's doing one-offs, he could do a one-off in Jersey, and Midnite Hellion will open up.
Hell yeah! See, you've got it covered right now. Hell yeah! So you kind of alluded to
listening, Sharon.
What's that?
If you're listening, Sharon.
if Sharon is listening to this show, it's because the hate that I've spewed off for her, it's like tripped her radar. I was watching some behind the scenes of the Patient Number 9 video, and I couldn't help but to think how much she has started to look like Yoko Ono.
Oh, I don't know,
I'm just going to leave that right there.
We'll leave that one at that.
Right. So you kind of alluded to this earlier, and you started talking about a new album. Can you give us a little insight on that?
So far, it's just in the writing session phase with it. In the past, it's always been Rich and me taking care of all the writing. Like, we'll get together on guitars, have a writing session, all that good stuff, and plug it in to Guitar Pro from there, arrange it, and take it live with the band. We actually started working with Charles on it prior to the Anvil tour, so we got him involved in the writing sessions. So at this point, we have some coming up, too, that we're going to be working on. So we're working on the new album simultaneously while promoting Kingdom Immortal.
Okay.
So
hell yeah.
Sooner than later, it's going to be coming out. So it'll be just a matter of time. But we got to finish up this tour cycle first before we get everything rocking with record number 3.
Definitely. So in the writing process for you guys, you said that it was usually you and Rich doing it, and now you've incorporated Charles into it. Now, are you both multi-instrumentalists? Can you both play, like, guitar?
Oh, yes. Yes, actually, literally, Rich and I will sit down with just guitars only and do it like that.
Awesome.
And obviously now with Charles, too, he'll be here with guitar.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we're just... we all pretty much play the guitar fairly well into the sense of being able to write on. I'd say Charles is the only one out of the 3 of us that can actually play live on guitar.
Yeah.
For sure. I get that.
Good thing, too, because that's my job. Good thing.
Well, you know, I can play guitar to a degree. Like at home, I can play and I can write rhythms and stuff on guitar. I've tried to do it live, and I fucking suck live on guitar. That's why I'm a bass player. So yeah, I totally get the only guy who has the qualifications to do it live. Yeah, I totally get that.
For me, it kind of helps because I basically play my bass like a guitar, except a lot more physically.
Right.
But it lends itself really well to rhythm guitar writing, and every now and again I'll come up with a lead idea in my head and then hum it out, and Charles will come in and go, "Oh, this is what you actually want."
Yes. So in metal, it's usually about the riff, coming up with a good riff. So is that how you guys get together and do your writing? Is it do you come up with like this riff, and then you come up with another, and then come up with another, and then kind of just string those together?
Pretty much any way possible is the best explanation. So sometimes there's times where one of us will come in with a pretty much completed song, and we'll just like kind of arrange it type of thing together. Sometimes they're okay, yeah, I could use another riff here. Hey, let's see what we can come up with. And a lot of times what we do just in our writing sessions, we just come in, no ideas whatsoever to present, and just start playing whatever comes out naturally, and just build off of there. So there's that, and then there's times too where it's like we'll take one of the riffs, so like for example, Phantom Land. We had come up with a few riffs, Rich and I, and then I came home and started plugging into the Guitar Pro program with arranging it, and all the riffs ideas that we had for it weren't used except for I think 2. So everything else was just like come up off the spot as I was putting it in the arranging, and like it got to the point where I had to hum out the ideas into a recorder because I couldn't keep up with the things that were coming out with. It's like, okay, crap, this is good. It's writing itself.
Definitely.
A lot of our songs actually have written themselves, which is cool.
That's when they're the best, I think, is when they write themselves. Whenever you can come in with something, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, at the end of like 2 practices, you have a complete song, and everybody's jazzed and feeling it.
That's basically what happened with
Insect Missing Home?
No, Black and White on Kid
Oh, yeah.
When I came in to step in on bass, I was sent a rehearsal tape just to get the tempos down, and they had jammed on the prototype for Black and White. And I'm like, okay, that's another song. I didn't know about it, but I'll learn it. I'll come up with something for it. And I came in and said, what about that other one? What other one? The one in between these two. That's not even a song yet, dude. Oh shit, I wrote something.
Like, well,
so you came in
cool.
writing. Hell yeah. I mean, it's a great way, I think, I always like to inform everybody on how it's done. And like, because everybody has their own way of doing things. Like I said, some people write just like the 20 seconds of a riff, and they write it 7 different ones, and then they just like, okay, well, this is a verse, and this is a chorus, and this is a that, and this, or coming in like that. It's like, hey, what about on this tape when you...
Yep, absolutely. That's
yeah.
the fun thing about it, because there's no correct way to write. It's whatever works.
Definitely.
And whatever worked for that song, because you could sit there and write everything a certain way your whole life, and all of a sudden change it up completely for just this one song.
For sure. And you said something a little bit ago I wanted to hit on here as well. When you went into the recording of Kingdom Immortal, you were there, you were like at breakneck speed getting it done. You had booked 7 days, and you were there from like 10A to 2A. And
yep, absolutely.
To me, I love sessions like that. I love like 12, 14-hour block sessions to where you just go in, you hammer it the hell out, and you get in and get out.
It was perfect for us, too, because we physically lived in the studio. Because Ithaca, New York is about 5 hours away from us, so we had no distractions whatsoever. All we had to do was go there and make some metal.
Definitely.
So it was a really cool experience, and we've all wanted to do that in the past and never had the opportunity to do it just based on the logistics of everything. Like the studio we were in prior to that did not have the ability to accommodate something like that just due to sound ordinances and everything.
Oh,
so
sure.
we were only able to do like 4 or 5 hours a day at most, So we can actually go in and focus 100% and get multiple songs done in a single day. Cool.
and it really helped capture the energy of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And that's really what it is, especially, you listen to albums like Pyromania, the Black Album, anything that Mutt Lange has touched, for example, like for those about to rock, any like major label deal album from like especially the early to late 80s to 90s and such, and it's trying to think about this and say it at the same time. It's interesting because most of those albums those guys spend a year in the studio on. And it's like, I could not imagine spending a year recording something.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the time and the means financially, great. More power to you to be able to do it like that. But I think a lot of that, too, is when they go in with a completely blank slate and they just write everything in the studio, too. Like, I know, for example, Metallica, that's what they did for the Black Album. That's why it took a year to finish it up.
Yeah, but, I think they collected demo tapes from everybody, and then they went in, like Lars and James went into the studio and cut the demo tapes, and then they said, "Okay, well, this is what we're gonna do."
Yeah.
So yeah, but still, for me, I'm an impatient guy when it comes to that stuff, and I'd be like, "No, got to get this shit done now."
Yeah. I'm proud of the experience in Ithaca, man. I would have said the exact same thing, but after working with Alex on this record, like, I love playing live, but I'm really liking spending more time in the studio.
Hell yeah. Well, here's looking up to a third album coming hopefully within the next year.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
How busy Kingdom Immortal will be keeping us in 2023. That will ultimately determine when we're able to get back up into Ithaca.
Definitely. Oh, so you're planning on going back to the same studio?
Absolutely, yep.
Hell
already
yeah.
Been speaking with Alex about that, and he's just waiting for us. So
Hell
come
yeah,
on, guys. Let's get back up.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I'm ready to rock.
Definitely. Kicking ass and taking names at that point, right?
Indeed.
Hey, Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com. So let's go ahead and break over into some general profile questions. These are about you guys as people. It could be music related, mostly just life related questions.
Okay. All right. Fire away. What do you got?
What is something you don't mind sharing with other people?
Music. Opinions. VD. Listen, one time, and you got to bring it up right here in front of all these people. Unbelievable.
Jeez, wow. So music, opinions, and VD.
Yep. So I mean, pretty much they all go hand in hand, I guess, if you want to say it that way.
That's
and the best part is all of us answer for somebody else, so you don't know whose answer is whose.
Right, exactly. I almost don't even want to know at that point. It's like, especially after just coming off a tour with Anvil.
Yeah, I don't want to know either.
What is something coming up in your life that you're excited about?
My cousin's wedding's coming up. I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm the best man in a wedding at the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
Rocking again.
That
We actually have one more show coming up for this year, man. It hasn't been announced yet, but it will be soon. It's just going to be a Jersey show, so it'll be nice to play our home state again. So really looking forward to doing that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. This one's an interesting one. If you swapped genders for a day, how would you spend it?
Oh man, in the mirror probably.
Shopping.
oh
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a valid answer. Probably sit there playing bass and video games. Nothing would change. Nothing would change.
Hell yeah. So shopping in the mirror and nothing would change.
Indeed.
You asked to.
Because the best part about shopping is you spend a lot of that time in the mirror.
That's right.
You're doubling up.
Save.
See,
There
this
you go.
is another case. You don't know. What were you thinking anyway? What was I thinking? Mirror, mirror on the wall. You know?
Exactly.
Who's the fairest of them all? You don't know.
Right turn at the end of Mirror Mirror.
What is your favorite vintage item?
Ooh. And what are we considering vintage?
Yeah.
I would say anything over 40 years old.
I would have to say my Kiss pinball machine signed by Ace Frehley.
Nice.
Yeah,
That is a nice one.
That is awesome. Did he come over and sign it, or did you have to take a piece of it and sign it?
Well, actually, it's the cabinet that's signed, and it gets cooler than that, too, because not only is it signed by Ace, it was signed to Johnny and Marcia Zazzola by
Oh,
Ace. It was actually their Kiss pinball machine, and he signed it for them when he was on Megaforce.
oh wow. That's
So I acquired
fucking
it from the
rad.
Zazzola family when they moved from Pennsylvania to Florida. So it's even more special now that both Marcia and Johnny are no longer with us.
Right.
So that's actually something that's a really, really prized piece of my collection that both my fiance and I have.
Dude, that is rad. That's probably one of the coolest answers I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you. If you guys want to piggyback on that answer, since you both saw it.
I mean, I got nothing that can compete with that, but I have a Aria Les Paul from like a Les Paul copy from like 1976, and I would say like in terms of a more vintage thing that I have, that's my prize. Like that would be my prize. It's just a really nice guitar.
Hell yeah.
I only own one thing that's over 40 years old, and it's my Atari 2600. So that would be the only answer I can give right now. But
that's pretty rad.
It is, and it's one of the wood grain ones, so it's actually got the look. It's a shame I can't play it on any of these new TVs, but it's got the look. But well, I guess my Nintendo. No, wait, no, that's an 80s one.
Yeah, it's not 40 years.
It's not 40.
Nope,
Not yet.
Not yet. It's close.
No, it's not.
But
when Nintendo is 40, I will be older than 40.
Right.
So, but the one thing I want is a 76 Super Bass.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I want one. I will eventually own one, but it's a matter of getting $4,000 to get one.
Right. You know,
Somebody has a rummage sale.
what is one surefire way to grab your attention?
Riffs.
Yes.
It's true.
Tug, low rip.
I'm really just a caveman when it comes down to it, with a heavy metal caveman. Just like, oh, me here, riff, good. Oh, yes, me bang head, So,
Fire bad. No.
fire bad, riff good. Yeah, exactly.
Extra bad.
No. Exactly.
And for me, I'd say a good song.
Okay.
Honest answer is to yell really loud, and I'll probably look that way.
Definitely. So, I mean, and that could be applied to the music
Literally.
as well. Yell really loud. For sure. Yeah, a great riff. Absolutely. I've been in a bar and a band be playing in the next room that I didn't go to the show and could hear them, in the other room and just be like, holy shit, what's that? That sounds so fucking awesome. And actually went and bought tickets to that just to see what the hell was going on.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What do you keep on your desk or workspace? And in this instance, I'll sit there and say, even on your live rig, because we all have something crazy that we carry with us that instantly boosts your mood.
I've got a VHS of Rocky on my desk at work, and that really lifts my spirits anytime I look at it.
Nice.
Was that the one you found Columbus?
Yeah. I was like, this is a good spot for it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I got too much crap on my desk, to be quite honest. But I've got an Ozzy Bark at the Moon doll. I guess it's 36-inch doll, and then the Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time 24-inch doll up there. A rack of cassettes. A bunch of demos are in there, which are pretty cool. Record player and a cassette to CD converter.
Nice.
And in terms of, and then obviously computers on there too and all that crap. And I've actually got, what else on there? I don't remember anymore. Too much stuff. In terms of live rig, a towel.
Okay.
I guess that would be the craziest thing that I could think of that I have is a towel.
Definitely. I've seen people carry weird shit on their live rig and they're like right in their case and shit like that. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, we just didn't have any room for anything like that.
I get
yeah.
it. Like I used to carry a Buddy Christ.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tying it back to Jersey, see?
Hell yeah. How about you, Mr. Rich?
In terms of computer, I've got a ton of stuff on the desk, but a couple of things that I look at and I just go, then, hey, that's nice. I actually have the copy that we used for the showing of the cassette for Kingdom Immortal when those finally came in. I've got that sitting there still unopened. I'm just like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So I get a little smile on my face when I see that. But other than that, that's the only thing that really, like, it just brightens my day seeing it. I think I've got Condemned to Hell sitting next to it, the cassette for that.
Oh, cool.
Just because they're sitting there as like the little Twin Tower cassettes.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
And the moral of this story is any day can be brightened by the proud purchase or ownership of any Midnite Hellion products.
Exactly. Hell yeah. Yeah, I forgot. I actually have a couple of pictures up there, too, of my fiance and Ace Frehley, actually. There's a Polaroid that's inside the pinball machine. So
Yeah.
when Rich said, like, oh, yeah, things that brighten your day, I was like, oh, yeah, I've got pictures of my girl up there. Of course. It's like, oh, yeah, Ozzy brightens my day.
For sure.
Hey guys, Wrestling Steve of the Wrestling Steve Show here. So if you're currently listening to the Metal Forge with Mark Jackson, then you understand that Mark Jackson has a pretty discerning taste when it comes to music as a whole. You'll also understand that he has a discerning taste for professional wrestling, just like me. My show is called The Wrestling Steve Show. I talk about modern and classic pro wrestling in a completely unbiased, unfiltered way. Be sure to check me out on all available podcasting platforms. That is The Wrestling Steve Show. And I am the host, Wrestling Steve. Just remember, like Confucius said, man who goes through turnstile in Thailand is going to Bangkok. Pro wrestling.
Hey, it's Mark Maxwell at Maxwell's House of Music. Listen, all this stuff is now available to purchase on our website. Check it out at maxwellshouseofmusic.com.
We carry all the top brands, like Fender.
We got Gibson.
We also have basses.
We've got ukuleles.
We got drums.
We've got sound gear.
We've got keyboards.
It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast. We're on season 2, so you have a whole season to get weird with Frank Green and Scott Clark. The best part is there's always laughter.
Oh, yeah, you can pull that out.
We have national touring comedians, NFL stars, rock stars, your local friends. It always gets weird. Weird answers.
Have y'all ever snorted coke off of a 78 Pinto? No? You ain't no man.
Weird questions.
Who had a bigger cocaine habit, Jock Sutherland or Kaywood Ledford?
Neither one, because they stopped beating their wives.
And weird we never even thought of.
Well, no. My friend is on acid, and I sent my friend to go find a payphone so that I can call and turn myself in for murdering this guy and ruin my life.
We love all types of people, but we don't love all people.
Weird. It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast, available everywhere. And thank you to Big X Sports Radio for being a proud sponsor of It's Gonna Get Weird. Frank Green, Scott Clark. Yeah.
So I have one last question, but before we do it, do you guys have any shout-outs you want to give today?
Thank you.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. I want to give a shout-out to everybody that came out and saw us on the Anvil tour, to Anvil as well. They're actually in New York right now for a film screening for This is Anvil, The Story of Anvil, because it's being re-released in theaters. So shout out to Anvil, guys. Good luck with the movie premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody that's come out to see us on this tour, our new friends, our old friends that we saw again, and of course to Teresa and to my family.
I'm going to say, echoing what Rich and Drew said, thanks to everybody that came out on the Anvil tour. And I'd also like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, my grandma, and my brother for, supporting everything I do with music and just for the support in general.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. And as always, links are listed below, so please give a like, a share, and a follow. Pay attention to when these guys are going back out on the road. And guess what, guys? Get your asses out there. Support these guys because they kick fucking ass. And, I had an awesome time hanging out with you guys and watching you all in Louisville when you were here.
Oh, dude, it's great seeing you guys play too, man. You guys
don't sell yourself short, man. You guys are pretty good. You up the game for that night, dude.
Yeah, we have to follow you guys. Holy crap!
Oh, come on now, come on. Thank you, seriously.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully, we'll get to hook up next time we're in town too.
Oh, for sure, for damn sure. So, final question of the day, and it's kind of funny that you brought up the Anvil Story of Anvil re-release. Is which actor or actress would play you in a movie?
Oh, that's a good one.
Who do we get that's got the hair?
Probably, I don't know. Who would I want to play me, or who do I think would play me? Because that's two totally different answers.
Why don't you do... It's would you want to play you? Who would you want to play you? But who would you think would play you is even funnier, I think.
Because it's like, I think like, yeah, badass. I just like Charles Bronson would play me, yeah. But then I'm like, yeah, I'd probably be Jack Black in one of these movies.
Okay.
No disrespect at all to Jack Black, but it's just like, I would be the comic relief.
Fair.
You got one, Rich?
I'm thinking, man. You're gonna have to give me a sec here.
No problem. I'd say Steve Buscemi.
When you think about it,
give Charles in his prime Danny DeVito.
Oh my God!
Wow.
There you go.
Can I honestly sit there and say that, Drew, that was you saying Steve Buscemi?
Oh yes.
I was gonna say that.
Oh God!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We are a bunch of airheads, though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
dude, I love that film.
God. Current actors,
Eddie
actor.
Rich would be like Paul Rudd.
Well, I was gonna say like.
Let's say Elroy Judson.
Yeah. There you go.
I could see Sean William Scott playing Rich.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Stifler.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Strange ones. I can see it.
That was a good question, dude.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh yeah, that's a hard one to answer, man. Like
that's totally tough because I couldn't pick anybody for me either. Like I don't know. Somebody would have to just sit there and say, "All right, this is who we got. That's who it's gonna be. Fucking deal with."
Exactly.
Dudes, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been awesome. I've had such a blast with talking with you guys again. And yes, hopefully soon you'll be making it back to Louisville, or, you know, maybe Overload could come to New Jersey at some point next year. I didn't say nothing, what? And we'll be hanging the fuck out and medaling the fuck out. So
absolutely, yeah, man. Thank you so much for having us. This was a blast, and we will rock together soon.
Hell yeah. Off of Kingdom Immortal, what do you guys want to play out today?
Tracks 1 through 8.
Well, he's going to go with the cop out. I'll just go HMO. That gives everybody a good taste of what's to come on the rest of the record.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, HMO, yeah.
Awesome. You heard them. This is from Midnite Hellion. This is HMO. Hey, thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Metal Forge. I want to take a minute to remind you guys about the Patreon page. Over on the Patreon page, we have the tiers set up to support the production of the show. We feature the Down and Dirty, which is just $1. There's nothing special for that one, it just sends me a thank you because every dollar helps. Then there's the Double Down and Dirty. Much akin to the Down and Dirty tier, everything helps produce the show in the end. You make your presence known, and I appreciate that more than you realize. Thank you for being a dedicated friend and supporter to the Metal Forge. By selecting that tier, you will receive some cool Metal Forge stickers in your mailbox. Now, we're really going to start pounding the metal madness with the Apprentice Metalhead for just $5 a month. By becoming an Apprentice Metalhead, you'll be given early access to the shows, published 24 hours before everyone else gets it. You're also going to receive 3 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You're also going to receive a 10% discount on all Metal Forge merch, and you're going to receive a sweet Metal Forge patch for your battle jacket or backpack. And now, here is the big one. This is the Master Metalhead for just $10 a month. By becoming a Master Metalhead, you will receive a hand-numbered Metal Forge Master Metalhead membership card. You're going to be given early access to the shows as well, with 36 hours before everyone else. You're going to receive 5 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You'll be able to submit audio questions that I will use on the show of you asking questions to the upcoming guests. Remember, timing is everything, and you will need to keep up with the upcoming guest list on the website. You're also going to receive advanced knowledge of any new merch coming out and be given a 25% discount on all Metal Forge merch. And you're also going to get all of the other rewards from the other tiers. So visit patreon.com/Metal Forge Radio today and help support the Metal Forge. Rock on.